Uh, we are back. 2023. Damn, we waited a little while to actually come back.
Yeah, man. I went to the Rumble. I went to Double or Nothing last year. What else did I do? I got a dog named Roman. Um, you know, just did a lot.
Are you acknowledging the tribal dog?
I am acknowledging the tribal dog. And what else did I do? I think I went to another WWE show somewhere in the middle. And yeah, you know. What about you, Elias? What have you been up to?
Working, and being a family man.
All right.
That's pretty much it. Catching up with wrestling, keep trying to keep up with wrestling, and just enjoying life in general. Just been busy with the familia. I've been busy with kid. Been busy just generally with my job. So I'm thankful.
Speaking of family, we are getting one of the best storylines of probably our lifetime right now with the bloodline, KO, Sammy, and who knows who else is going to get added, Cody. And, it's just probably some of the best stuff we've seen since, I want to say, Rock Hogan.
I think that just just in general, this storyline going on with the bloodline and everything that is revolving around it is, I want to say, one of the best storylines out there in wrestling today. So, I think that this is a pretty, there's layers to it, and every time you think that it's almost over, they add another layer to it, which makes it pretty awesome to see and pretty awesome to actually listen to or watch this whole shenanigans. What happened? Like, Sammy went
What's up,
from,
Anthony? Elias, you have gone to the dark side. I don't know what happened.
what do you mean? I am here. Are you there?
All right. While Elias comes back, um, Elias, hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're better now.
Okay.
Maybe it just needed me in the driver's seat. I don't know. I said what's up to Anthony. Um, yeah, so this is some of the best stuff we've gotten. You still see the one or two comments on Twitter from the trolls like, "Oh, Roman is boring," who don't know anything about wrestling or storytelling. Um, but yeah, other than that, I think everyone thinks this is great stuff. You can look at the ratings. The ratings have been up. The Twitter engagement has been up. The YouTube views have been up. So everything right now is going the way WWE wants it. And, with Vince out of the driver's seat, it seems like it's going pretty well.
So let's talk about it, because before we stop actually like recording, like actually stop going full throttle on here, Vince was still in the driver's seat. From then till now, we have had, so before SummerSlam, Vince left. So SummerSlam was Triple H's first full event has head of creative. All that goes around, Royal Rumble was pretty awesome. I think Royal Rumble was one of the best Royal Rumbles I've seen in a couple of years, without having any external people or external surprises, like they said. So, building off of that, now you have Elimination Chamber, which we're going to get into. Elimination Chamber was, I would say that Elimination Chamber was one of the best pay-per-views and gimmick matches, best Elimination Chamber matches for the men's and the women that they've had in a long time. The men's Elimination Chamber was freaking fantastic, in my opinion. Now, the finish can be debated because of Logan Paul jumping in and screwing stuff over, but
Oh,
that
Logan Paul also better clothesline than Hangman Page. I'll say it.
but I think in overall, I think their division for WrestleMania season is starting to come in line compared to last year. Before we went into WrestleMania season, we didn't know that we didn't know exactly what was going to happen. Like I remember a year ago we were talking about WrestleMania and not knowing exactly what matches were going to happen or what was going to happen. Now compared to now, we kind of already have a definite plan of what we want to see, and they're adding more layers to the storylines, like the storyline with the bloodline, like, and then you still got Finn Balor versus Edge. That's gonna probably happen. You're probably gonna have
You got Bianca and Asuka, Rhea and Charlotte, probably Usos versus KO and Sammy, which I'm hoping they throw a curveball and it's Sammy and Jay versus Solo and Jimmy. Um, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to do it to feel good moment with KO and Sammy.
mm-hmm. But as WrestleMania season is getting closer, like the shows are flowing better. The shows are flowing better. The matches are still top notch. I will say this: on TikTok, there was this guy that basically said, "What Hunter is doing now is old school black and gold NXT." If you think about it, the matches, the way the matches go, the way that the segments go, how everything flows so smoothly, reminds you of the old school black and gold NXT. He finally figured out the keys to how to put the key pieces to the puzzle together and managed to get it just perfect.
And
And
another thing in black and gold was there were people on the undercard who you never cared about, and they were balling out. Like, look at a Gable right now, Mustafa Ali, um, Boogs is back, and it looks like him and Elias are going to do some fun stuff together. So you're over. I want Gable to win the Money in the Bank at this point. Like, give Gable the Money in the Bank, let him go on do his own thing, put Otis with the male models. I want to see Gable get a run now.
yeah, like the thing that I like about WWE right now, and this is one thing that I will say, they have brought the mid card titles to mean something again. The U.S. title, the Intercontinental Championship, Gunther's run with the IC title has been magnificent. I mean, he's put on banger after banger and after banger after banger, and it's just been fun. So yeah,
Anthony, we talked about Tony Khan's announcement off air. We're not 100% because neither of us are watching AEW live, but I think it's the announced Forbidden Door 2, which is going to be great for the 20,000 people that watch it, but it's not going to help his ratings at all. And then I think that's what the announcement is, but we're going to have to stay tuned and let y'all know. Honestly, I'm guessing that's what it is, or maybe he's finally announcing the date for Double or Nothing, which is really weird. It's in like 3 months and he hasn't announced it. So we will let you know once we figure out what it is. And I think Elias is looking for it right now.
yeah, I haven't. I'm looking for it, but I haven't.
It
Added
might
it
be the
yet.
main event segment. We don't know. We're on at 8 o'clock Central Time, so there's still an hour left. I don't think it's going to be in Georgia. I think he said he's going to keep Forbidden Door in Chicago, but we'll see. Um, yeah, so let's quickly get into our thoughts about Elimination Chamber. We haven't talked much about it. I think both chamber matches were awesome. Um, I'm still not sold on Liv Morgan, but she's getting better, and that's what you want. You want the talent to get better. I think Carmella looked like $1,000,000. Raquel and Asuka killed it. I'm really excited for Asuka and Bianca. If Asuka is taking the title off of Bianca, I don't want Asuka to drop out.
I think that what they did with the women's match, Liv has the potential to be she already has it, but she's star quality. She has a look. She has the in-ring skills are getting there.
She's got the
But
fan support. I'll give you
yeah,
that.
she has the fan
Yeah.
support. The the match was done perfect as much as they could. They worked with what they had, and they made the spots matter. they told a story within the match. So that was what stood out from that match. And the winner, of course, we knew Oscar was going to win unless they swore it was out of Oscar and Raquel.
Anthony is saying AEW reality show, so I think you were right. I think that is the announcement.
I don't know. I still need to. I think he's
Well,
asking. He's asking a question.
okay. Well, if it is the reality show, I think they need to hold back on that until they can get Rampage over 200,000 viewers or whatever they're struggling with. I think AEW has bigger things to worry about, especially with the rumor today of Comcast possibly looking into buying Paramount or Warner Brothers.
You're being petty. I see your pettiness is not gone away.
No, here's the thing, man. I really want to like AEW. Me and you have talked. Like I've gone to AEW live. It's a great time. The fan base is awesome. I think Tony Khan's a good dude. I think he just books like a mark and a kid. And he's that kid in school who, when he didn't get what he wanted, he told his mom, and his mom came and complained. His mom, in this case, is his Twitter fingers. So he'll go on Twitter and complain. And I'm like, bro, stop. Like, you're not competition right now. I don't want you to be competition. I want you to be a alternative. And there's 3 storylines going on in AEW. They have a pay-per-view in 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I don't know when it is, but they haven't announced anything for it except an Iron Man match and a tag title match, which we don't even know who's competing in yet. The Revival are possibly on their way out. Cody's left, and it's been a clusterfuck since he's left. MJF, people are saying he's re-signed. I don't think he is. I think MJF is gone. You got Ricky Stark showing up at the Rumble. I mean, Tony's got to worry about his in-house before he worries about what's going on at his neighbor's house.
I think that in this situation, he's put himself between a rock and a hard place. The fact that the ratings have dropped a little bit, but they're still like the storylines are not as invested as they were before.
I mean, the ratings have dropped, but I'm not going to say they're still decent. Look at Friday nights; they're pretty bad.
Ain't even that. It's the fact that
I'm not worried about Wednesdays. I think Wednesdays are fine. I think they need to worry about their Friday.
I think the quality of what AEW was compared to what it is now is missing. When you first started watching AEW, outside of the name shots, the shots that were thrown about WWE, they were invested in the homegrown talent. Yes, homegrown talent is still there, but they're playing second fiddle to Tony Khan's playbook. So it's like when you look at Kazarian, when you look at SCU was one of the best trios out there.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I agree with you, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Look at the Acclaimed and Gun Club,
and they've grown, and that's a tribute to their success, right? But when you look at it, look at the women's division.
I completely agree here.
Britt Baker was the number 1 star. They basically now she's appearing on Dark and Elevation. Like she's relegated to be behind Jamie Hayter, which isn't bad because Jamie Hayter has worked her way to the top.
Also a homegrown talent,
But now you got Spraya, you got Tony. Like, what are you gonna do with that?
Yeah, and it seems like the focal point of this feud is who will Ruby side with when Ruby is also a WWE girl. But I understand they want to do the outsiders thing. One thing I am missed about the women's feud is I think Willow's going to get a big spot, and I think Willow is someone who can be their version of what Bayley was when Bayley got called up in WWE. So I think I'm looking forward to seeing more of Willow. But yeah, man, let's get back to Chamber because we went off on this tangent. The men's match, Gargano and Seth Rollins killing each other. Bronson Reed looking like a beast, finally getting an ovation because it was quiet for Bronson for the last couple of weeks.
I think that the men's match was fun, and they highlighted every superstar in that match. And it took 3 guys to take out.
But we get that every Rumble now.
No, but still, like in a
Or
situation like
every Elimination Chamber now, we get that with the big guy, right?
yeah, but it was fun. Like typically
Oh,
you
I
would
agree.
have typically you would have like, oh, somebody did somebody the everybody did their finisher, and this one it led in a triple super kick into everybody doing their finisher on them, right? So it made it unique compared to other years where if somebody like the Big Show or Kane was in it, they would have to do some shenanigans or some kind of disqualification to get them out, or some BS happened.
I think Montez is a freaking star. I want to give Montez Ford all his flowers, and not even for his in ring, like even his selling. Michael Cole had that good moment where he was like, Montez said if he wins the U.S. title, he wants to call it the US title because he's a Marine, and this title is for us. Like Michael Cole has been doing great. It's like ever since Vince left, he doesn't have anyone in his ear, and Michael Cole's on that next level now too. And yeah, Montez is a fucking star.
I think Montez deserves a title run.
I think he does too, but I think we need to slow our horses on it.
I want Montez to dethrone Austin Theory either at WrestleMania, if the John Cena stuff doesn't work out,
I think it's too early.
or SummerSlam.
I don't think he should win his. I don't think he should win the title on his first feud. But I also don't want his first feud being Dawkins. I would rather Damian Priest take out Dawkins and Ford be a feud. Dawkins and Ziggler do the same thing that Ollie and Ziggler are doing right now. I want Montez to win a couple of feuds before he gets the title. I don't want his first feud to be for the title and him win the title.
I think he already kind of did with this U.S. title.
But what was his feud?
Theory?
They didn't have any matches.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I want him to be part of the title picture sooner rather than later.
You're the easiest way to do it. Miz. Have Miz try to cause a rift. Dawkins say, yo, we ain't falling for this. And Montez say, I'm sick of people doing this. Meet me in the ring, Miz. Montez and Miz can be the first feud. Once Montez gets past him, Dawkins and Miz can be the next feud. You don't have to split the profits up.
Do them like they do the New Day. Keep them together.
Keep
them together and let them do their own thing.
Exactly.
When it's time to bring them back together, you bring them back together.
I think if I was WWE, I would hold off on Montez's singles run until the draft. And I think we're going to get a draft a day after or a month after Mania.
Probably so. I think that's what's gonna happen. I will say this. Put some respect on the Miz's name.
I agree. We both know someone that does it. Yeah, I'm tired of people saying Miz isn't good. Like, oh, what's the last Miz match you wanted to watch? Bro, Miz can draw a crowd. I saw him at Mania with Cena. I haven't seen Ospreay draw a crowd. Sorry. Like, I don't care how good Ospreay is in the ring. If you can't sell me on a match, then I don't care.
I don't even think it's that. I just think it's that, like, there's people outside of the person we're talking about that have that their position that the Miz is just the guy to put over. But we forget the Miz's work has he built himself up to where he's at now. You forget the classic matches he's had with Cena. You forget the classic matches he's had all around. Dolph, Bryan, all these people that he's had a feud with. Him and Morrison made Bad Bunny and Damian Priest look very good at WrestleMania. which was one of my favorite matches in the post COVID WrestleMania that they had, literally. So when you start thinking about him, like, you have to respect the stuff he's done. You have to realize that he is not a high flyer. He doesn't do all these spots. He works old school, just like Dax and Hardwood do. Dax and Hardwood work old school. Yeah, they have some spots. It's the same thing with the Miz. He'll do a suicide dive off the middle rope, but that's about this. But as far as it goes, but yeah. Anyways, back to the Elimination Chamber. I think Montez was one of the best. Was the
MVP of the night.
MVP of that night. For the women's chamber, I think you're gonna hate me when I say this, but Liv was the MVP for the women. Um,
I'll give that to you, but I think Oscar looked really good as well. Um, then we got Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Finn Balor and Rhea. We'll talk about that in the coming weeks because that's going to be a Mania match. I want to say Edge looked like $1,000,000 on Raw in the main event too.
I
Like,
actually was really happy to see him.
dude, this guy's like landing on monkey flips and stuff, and he's like 50 years old. Like, Edge is doing some good stuff. Um, then we had Bobby and Brock, which we will also talk about later. We're going to figure out what's going on with Bray Wyatt and Omos and MVP and everything going on in this. Once we figure out what's going on with that, we haven't been around for a while. We took a little hiatus, so we're just trying to get through everything. Let's talk about the main event: KO and Sami Owens.
You mean Sammy versus Roman?
Yeah, Sammy versus Roman. Sorry, KO was part of this too.
I think this story, I feel this could have gone two ways. One, they did the best finish, and I'm gonna say this because I've said it in our chat. This was the best finish that they could do given the situation that they were in. Because in order to keep the story going, you had to add another layer to it. With the way that they did it, they added another layer to it, and they managed to keep the crowd interested in what was going on. Because you didn't see Jey Uso turn on Sammy like people were talking about. You didn't see KO come and actually have that brotherly moment with it. They're teasing it, but you're not going to get it. They're making you work. They're making you get more invested in this because we all know that there's a possibility that Jay's going to turn on Sammy in a line with the bloodline. And then
How would you book it? You book the finish line. How do you book it?
so here's how I book it. We're at the end of this week, right? You're probably going to see Sammy at SmackDown. Jake, he confronts Jey Uso. He says, like, hey, you got me, or well, what do you want to do? Jay follows him along. They go next week. You see them kind of like going back and forth with the bloodline. Second week of March, because next week is technically the first week of March. Second week of March, you get a fake match. You get a match started with Solo Sikoa and Solo and Jimmy versus Sammy and Jay. In that match on SmackDown, you get Jay to turn on Sammy. Okay. Because instead of it being like a clean finish, it's gonna be a dirty finish. Because Jay will turn on him and super kick him, and they will start beating the crap out of him. As that's happening, Roman comes out, right? Mm-hmm. Roman comes out earlier in that show. You get a confrontation between Roman and Cody.
Okay.
So you're building two storylines at the same time, right? So as that's going on, the beatdown is going on, Roman comes out and they start beating the crap out of him, right? Then all of a sudden, you hear Cody's music. Cody comes out, they start trying to fight him off, and he gets overpowered. Then as the crowd is going, KO, KO, or being boo, or whatever they're doing to KO's music hits, KO comes out with a steel chair, runs everybody off the ring, gives gives Roman Reigns a stunner, and then we get the reunion we want.
Okay. Now I'm about to throw a complete curveball on you because my plans are completely different. I say SmackDown. Sammy comes out, cuts his promo, beginning of the night. You have Solo come out there, destroy Sammy. Jay's nowhere to be found at this point. End of the night, you have Roman confront Jay, beat the hell out of Jey Uso. Jay and Sammy align. Somewhere in the middle, you have Solo take out KO. You're going to build that match towards SummerSlam. So you're going to give KO some time off. Now, Jimmy and Jey Uso, the Friday before Mania, because they've made that a very big episode lately. Have you noticed that? They have added the battle royals and stuff to it.
Yeah.
The Friday before Mania, you do Uso versus Uso. Winner gets the tag titles. Jimmy wins. Him and Solo are the tag champions. Jay wins. Him and Sammy are the tag champions. That's the match I want at Mania. Then you let both brothers go their own way. Solo goes off on his own. His first feud comes around with KO, maybe even Riddle. When Riddle comes back, you got two things open for him. Roman can go take a little hiatus, go focus on Cody, maybe come back to Sammy. You ruined my family. If Riddle comes back, you have Riddle go to Solo, KO go to Jimmy, Roman go to Sammy. You can go many ways with it. But I want Jay to come out of this as the face because I think Jey Uso, as a baby face, deserves a title. Or he can hold the title. He can be a face of a company.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I can agree with that if it happens that way.
I think if you do it, I agree your way is going to happen. I think if they take the risk on my way, you just built one more mega heel in Solo. You built a solid mid Carter in Jimmy, and you built two baby faces for the next year in Jay and Sammy. And
I don't think.
And if you want it to matter more, you have Roman beat Cody. Cody comes out on Raw the next night. Oh, I'm sorry I let y'all down. Jay White comes out. Everyone forgets about Cody losing because Cody's next feud is Jay White.
I will say this.
I'm all over the place. I know.
Yeah, you are. But what I will say is that I foresee something happening between here and Mania.
Oh, you have Fast 10 comes out too. Remember, Fast 10 comes out.
That's not gonna happen. But here's the you have to remember that Jimmy and Jay still hold the tag team titles. So we're gonna get a match with the Usos at WrestleMania.
No, this is what I told you. This is in my plan. I separated this. Remember.
But how do you get rid of the titles?
Uso versus Uso. Winning brother keeps the title with either Sammy or Solo.
Yeah, you're all over the place. I think
I thought I was all over the place too. But do you remember Raw last month? What happened?
Jimmy almost went against by himself.
No, Sammy filled in. You remember, right?
Yeah.
The week before that, what happened? Dominic filled in. What happened?
Yeah, but that's the Freebird rule with factions.
So it's basically the Freebird rule, except one brother's like, no, I'm keeping this title. Or you have Adam Pearce come out and say, all right, you keep the Raw ones, you keep the SmackDown ones. We're going to unify them at Mania. You have Solo, you have Sammy. Go.
No.
I need Jey Uso to be a face at the end of this. I will not be okay with him turning out to be a heel.
Okay, hear me out. So WrestleMania happens, right?
Are you going to say what I suggested in the group chat last week?
What?
You have the tag team match. Jay stays back, shakes hands with Sammy and KO. Great match, brother. Jimmy's walking out. He grabbed Jimmy. He's like, showed him respect. They both shake hands. The Usos are face, and they're out of the bloodline.
No.
Okay.
All right. So think about it like this. I think I think I posted it on the chat. So Roman loses the titles. The Usos lose the titles at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Come Monday, the blame game starts.
Mm-hmm.
Roman's like, y'all were supposed to have my back. I was supposed to keep my title. Like, what happened? Like, and then the Usos are like, well, we had our match. Like, KO and Sammy put us through tables. They put us through hell. Blah blah blah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you have all that happening, right? And then what you would call it? And then Roman starts trying to beat up on the Usos, and he sicks Solo on them. But the one that stands up to him and actually tells Solo no is Jay. So once Jay does that, Roman says Solo versus Jay at the main event of Raw after WrestleMania. SmackDown of the SmackDown after WrestleMania. So that's when you get the face turn of Jay, while also making Solo the monster because he demolishes Jay, and at the process takes out both of the Usos.
Okay, I think we're both thinking the same thing. I just gave you a more simple way to do it. Here's what I think is gonna happen. KO and Sammy versus the Usos. KO and Sammy win. They hug. Jey Uso stays, shakes hands with them. Before Jimmy leaves, Jey Uso's like, show them respect. They fought their asses off. They won our titles. Jimmy is like, okay, whatever. Hug, shake hands. Then you have Roman say, damn, y'all gone soft on me. Solo. And then Solo's like, I'm not hurting my brothers. I'm going solo. And you let Solo go off into his own thing. Maybe you bring Riddle back. Maybe you bring KO back. Whatever you want to do with Solo. Roman's apart. The Usos are face. The Usos are face. The next Raw, the next SmackDown, you debut FTR. You call up in the share. You call up Pretty Deadly, Gallus, whatever you want to do. If you keep Solo face, you call up Gallus. Boom, 6-man right there. You figure that out. I think you have to keep Jey Uso as a face because if he keeps getting these reactions for 3-4 more months, I think you could have him as a Rumble favorite, where the Rumble can be, oh, who's going to win the Rumble? I think you could have him in that Sammy role where right before the Rumble he loses the title match that everyone wants him to win. You have to keep Jey Uso face.
I don't think that it's gonna happen just yet. I think that there's still a layer that is going to happen with this, and that layer is going to be the destruction of the bloodline. One by one, they're gonna drop.
But in my scenario, didn't that happen? Because the Usos lose the tag titles, Roman loses his title. The next day, Roman's like, damn, y'all gone soft on me. Solo attacking. Solo's like, no, I'm not hurting my brothers. I'm done.
Yeah, but I still want to see Roman get whooped by the Usos. So that's where I'm like saying, like,
Well, once Solo leaves, the Usos are like, well, there's two of us, there's one of him. 3D, 1D, whatever they call it. 1D.
There's plenty of possibilities on this storyline, but I'll say this: that match was, if anything, that match had a lot of emotion. It had a lot of storytelling in it, and it added another layer to what this storyline is, and that's what makes this bloodline stuff pretty good. I think that we're in for a treat as it comes. I think we're gonna have fun.
Speaking of fun, we've covered Elimination Chamber. Really quickly, Elias, I want you to talk about my favorite show. I need you to give me my flowers, man. I've been on the Grayson Waller train since day one. You notice. I've been on the Tiffany Stratton train since day one. You notice. I've been on the Tony D'Angelo train since day one, and the Mellow train since day one. I need you to give me my flowers.
Sure.
Tiffany is a star. Or at this point, are you gonna tell me Tiffany's not a star?
I mean, She's there.
She's a star, bro. I don't remember the last time she lost a match.
I
You gonna
mean,
tell me
she's there.
Tony naturally turned face. Tony D'Angelo,
I
not Tony Storm. I don't watch AW.
I
You got a man crush on Stacks. It's okay. So do I.
no.
Great.
I think that Roxanne is a good champion.
I agree. Stud.
I
You told me about her. I'll give you your flowers. You told me about her.
I think that the bringing over bringing Gallus back was a good thing.
I'm not sold on Gallus, dude. They are boring as fuck, dude. I cannot stay awake.
But this whole this
Pretty deadly.
whole this whole thing with Pretty Deadly makes me want to watch it. Gallus is pretty one of the top tag teams in NXT UK, so I love their matches. Ilja Dragunov is the truth. I would just say
Okay,
that.
I don't want to talk about these scrubs. I want you to talk about my people. I want you to talk about everyone I just mentioned.
Grayson Waller is good.
What's Grayson Waller doing Mania weekend? Is he facing HBK?
I don't think so. I think we're gonna get what's his name debut.
Dragon Lee or Colby
Yeah,
Corino?
Dragon Lee. I
Colby
think
Corino
Dragon.
signed on to be a trainer, right?
No, he signed on to be a superstar.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How old is that? Isn't he like 45?
No, he's still young.
Okay, so Colby Corino's 26. Wow, I was way off. Okay, I think Colby Corino is going to debut for Shawn Michaels.
Either that or Dragon Lee. I really think so.
You know what I think is going to happen with Dragon Lee? We're going to get that North American title ladder match that we get every year, and Dragon Lee's going to be participating in that.
I don't know.
Wesley also. This dude's killing it.
Yes, Wesley is really killing it.
I think he's the most over natural babyface right now.
But Wesley had to build his way back up after getting separated from.
Dude, there were weeks where I was watching like, why are you a crybaby now? Like to Wesley, and he developed it. He played that sympathetic card perfectly, turned into a great face U.S. or North American champion. Tony D'Angelo.
Tony D'Angelo is good. I like him.
Yeah, he is.
I honestly think I wish that Grayson Waller would have dethroned what's his name?
I wish anyone would. I wish Jinder Mahal would. I cannot get behind Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker. I think Braun Breaker's just generic. Like not generic, but he's sticking to his family roots. He's using the Steiner style and it helps him for what it is.
But he's not as entertaining as the Steiners.
He's not. But I think he needs to take a heel turn and go the Scott Steiner route. And I think he'll make it.
There's two things I'd suggest for Braun Breaker. By the time you call him up, you have the bloodline disbanded, and you have Paul Heyman go with Braun Breaker. That's one. And then there's number two. You have him be fuckboy heel. Him and Cora come out, make out, piss off the fans, because a lot of men like Cora, and you just have him be the fuckboy that says, "I got the girl." You just have him be the varsity football player that no one likes. I got the girl. I got the belt. Who gonna stop me?
I agree. I mean, it can.
Which way would you rather go with it?
Bruh.
You saw the announcement?
No, but
Is AEW doing AEW things?
Yeah, AEW's doing AEW things. Uh,
Okay,
it's
I'll
it.
watch it in a little bit. Is it bad?
I don't know how to take it. Like it could be considered bad, but it can be considered meh.
Was it a match or was it something announced or?
Winners of a match.
Oh God. Okay.
So, anyways, all right. So here's the thing. Our stand and deliver is probably going to be pretty badass.
Oh my God! Did Evil Uno beat Moxley?
That hasn't happened yet. Um,
Well, okay, pause. Speaking of AEW doing AEW things, why the fuck is Evil Uno in your main event?
I'm they are trying to show the they're trying to show
I love the story. It's just why Evil Uno? Why wouldn't you have to be John Silver, someone that the fans have a soft spot for? You know?
because they're trying to build layers to this. They're trying to do what was it what they did with the Dark Order when Hangman was going against was it that he was going against
Kenny?
the I think it was Kenny where or Brian, no, it was Daniel Bryan when Daniel Bryan went through the Dark Order. It's the
Yeah,
same
but
storyline.
all their storylines are MJF winning the title and making everyone run a gauntlet. Chris Jericho making everyone run a gauntlet. Like, I don't get this. Oh, sorry. Uh, I, I'm just so irritated. Like,
Ladies and gentlemen,
I want it
feel
to be
moist.
good. I want it to be good. Like,
I'm
dude,
still I'm still waiting on this announcement. They haven't even announced anything.
Elias, here's the thing. There's people who say I'm an AEW hater. Is there not?
Yes.
Would you say I'm an AEW hater, or would you say I'm just being real?
Eh,
Okay, let
it
me
could
ask
be
you a question. Let me ask you a question. Who is a bigger Santam Singh fan than me?
no. Here's the thing: you are not you can be considered a little biased because you're more biased towards WWE now,
I am. I will say I am.
and there's nothing wrong with that. You're openly critical you're openly critical of what AEW does because you when AEW first started and we first started doing the show, you were one of AEW's biggest supporters.
Mm-hmm.
You had AEW's back. You said, "Hey, blah blah blah, let's give them a chance." Because if I remember correctly, these conversations, how they went, if we go back on archives, I was the one that was more pro WWE, and you were the middleman.
I would agree.
Now it's flipped. I'm kind of the middleman because I still like AEW, and you're more pro WWE. So,
I will say,
so
I will say, I'm the only one that supported the Gun Club winning the tag titles.
yes, I will say that.
I support the Gun Club. I support Santam Singh. I support Hook, and I think that's where I draw the line. Everything else is to me.
And that's fine. Like it's fine because of the fact that
Why
because
is
of the
Eddie
fact
Kingston booked better in New Japan than he is on AEW?
why is anybody booked better in anybody that's not in the main event scene right now or has to do with any current storyline booked better outside of AEW than in AEW?
Yeah. For those who don't know, Eddie Kingston may beat Jay White in a loser leaves New Japan match.
Actually, he
And
did beat. Actually, he did beat Jay White in a loser leaves.
I said he for those that don't know, he did beat. And for those that don't know, I don't remember the last time Eddie Kingston won a match on AEW
Eddie
TV.
Kingston did a promo that I hate to say this, but was one of the best promos he cut. Natural promos, not scripted, not AEW promo. This was a straight street hood promo. Like
On which
he did it,
show?
and it was badass. And
It was
like the
on
way he,
Rampage, so 50 people watched it. Was it on Rampage? Is
so
that what you're trying to figure out?
huh?
Was it on Rampage?
What? No, this was like This was not AEW related. This was New
Oh, this is
Japan.
just a okay.
Like because they did how New Japan does the press conference between before the before and New Japan does the press conference um before their shows.
Yeah,
So in that particular press conference, it was Jay White and Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston did one of the best promos I've ever heard in a while from him, and it was real. It was awesome. So like like the opportunities that Eddie Kingston is getting outside of AEW is wonderful. Like, yes, he is the he is the heart and soul of AEW. Let's not take anything away from him, but it's still like he's still like has being booked better in New Japan. He is doing he well. I'll give him this. He is getting the matches he's always wanted in AEW with some of the people that he's always looked up to or had anything positive to say about, right? I just feel that he is being booked better as far as the win-loss ratio than anything. Really.
there's another
No, they announced what the
announcement was
yeah.
with the Forbidden Door,
No.
the video game.
Should I just spoil it for everybody who's that's gonna watch this?
Yeah, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
So AW announced AW All Access. Access. It will air March after Dynamite. So this is basically the reality show that they were saying the reality show that's gonna happen. That basically says, uh, um, it's AW All Access. I don't know if it's a wrestling series or if it's actual.
You
If
think
it's
You think they'll show us what happened between Sammy and Andrade
I don't know. I doubt
or
that.
Miro?
I doubt that. But it's basically another show, a reality show. It says, and this is from, and this one comes from Wrestling Inc. Well, actually, WrestleZone. WrestleZone.com says Adam Cole announces AW All Access, a new reality show that will premiere next month. It will be a 1 hour show that will air after AEW Dynamite.
Okay, so AEW is doing a reality show, which the only things we care about what's going on behind the scenes is what happened between Andrade and Sammy, which we're never gonna find out. What
Nope,
happened?
Because Andrade is not back, and he might never be back to AEW.
What happened between Thunder Rosa and Britt, which we're never gonna find out, and what happened to Miro, which we're never gonna find out.
Miro is redeeming himself.
I would too if Lana was my wife. Doing a good job. Good job off the field. Um,
Anyways,
I think we're gonna wrap it up. Or
also positive news. Adam Cole will be making his return to the ring in March.
at Revolution.
It just says Adam Cole is returning in March.
So they're gonna no build a match at Revolution.
Probably so.
Okay.
If you get a chance to look at NXT's highlights and look at them, it was pretty cool.
NXT. I watched NXT.
Okay, so you saw the the Roxanne Miko's
Yeah, good
Satanura.
stuff. Good stuff. I think even with how great Raw and SmackDown have been, I think NXT is number two for me right now. I think it goes SmackDown, NXT, Raw, Dynamite for me.
Cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for tonight's show.
And I know we didn't touch on a lot of stuff, but we'll be back.
We'll be back. We're good. We're just shooting the shit right now, like literally catching up and just letting y'all know what happened. We're gonna try to come back on a more consistent basis. Might not be on Wednesdays. We might go back to our Thursday schedule. Maybe not next Thursday because next Thursday is my birthday, but we might make a Wednesday episode next week. But for the most part, yeah. Follow us on our social media, Weekly Wrestling Heat on Facebook, Weekly Wrestling Heat on Instagram. Also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling Heat. Sorry, _ Wrestling Heat. That's what it is. Follow us on TikTok on Weekly Wrestling Heat. Moises has been consistently posting on
We'll put
TikTok
some clips on from this. Yes.
as well. So yeah, either way, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in. Thank you for rewatching this if you didn't get to catch this show. My name's Elias. I am Mr. Laredo, and this is Moise. Catch up with y'all. Peace.